Hello and welcome to another video tutorials with KingTech Coding Clinic. And in this video tutorial, we are going to look at the second part, that is the part 2 of our online multi-user data entry system. In our previous lessons, we created our database. We installed the Google Drive client software, and then we created our database, and then we have it linked to the app sheet on our phone, and then we submitted the data through our phone and have them appear inside of our database on our local PC. So now let's quickly go to our drive and see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll just open my drive from here, open this. You should have the same thing. Then the name of the folder is my online DB. I'll just open that. And then this is our database file. These were the images we used through our mobile phone. So we just launch this file here. Perfect. So as you saw, this was the data we captured through our phone, and we have it appearing inside here without any problem. So now what we are going to do is we need to create an interactive user form so that we can equally use the same user form to enter data and have the data appear inside this same database at the same time. So what is going to happen is that all other users, those that you'll be sharing the link with, okay, the link we created on the app sheet, all those that you share the link with are going to use their mobile phones to download and install the app sheet app, and then they can be able to submit the data, and then you have it appear inside this database. So on your local PC, you would also want to create an interactive user form and submit the data and have the data also appear here at the same time. Okay, so that is what we'll be doing here. So now we need to create that form. Okay, so to do that, we need a new Excel workbook for that. So we come here, just type Excel. Okay, so we choose this. So we create a new Excel workbook. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just to click on this, then I'll go to save as. Then I'll go to, you can see it's here, that is my online DB, the folder is here. Or if in case yours didn't appear here, then what you can do is you can click on this, then you can still navigate here and grab your drive from here. Then you open this, you can see my drive, and then the online DB or my online DB, this is it. Then I'll open it, and then this, I would want it to be macro enable workbook. So I'll choose this and then choose macro enable workbook. So once I'm done, so I'm going to give it a different name like registration form or registration form for sure. So basically that is the name I'm going to give to it. So once I'm done, I'll just click on save. So I'll have this workbook appear inside of this. So you can see this is the workbook. So this is our database. So now we have our database here, and then we have the workbook which we are going to be using to create the data entry form here. So what we need to do is, since we are going to be using the same heading, column heading, so we just copy this from the database here, select this and just select that, then Control C to copy this. So once you are done, minimize this, and then let's bring back this one. So click here, then Control V to paste. So you would want to click here, and then you would want to keep column, source column width. So we have this, so we can save this one now. Now we can minimize this and then go ahead and close this one here. So let's close this one. So now let's launch this one now. Perfect. So now we are going to be creating our data entry form from here. So let's click on developer tab. So in case you can't see this, you would want to go to file here, then you come to that is options, then you would want to go to customize ribbon, and then from here you should locate developer tab. You have it checked, and then you click on OK, and then you should have that appear. So now we have it there. So now let's increase this. So now let's go to Visual Basic here, and here you would want to go to insert and choose user form. Perfect. So now let's just extend this one a bit. So let's change the caption of it, or let's change the name first. So we can call it FRM registration. FRM registration. Perfect. Then we can change the caption. Let's call it data entry form. Perfect. So we'd want to change the background color. So to do that, we can do that from here. Back color, we keep this one here, choose this. So probably, let's say I would want to give it this color here. That is good. So the next thing I'm going to do is to get a label. Okay, so here I'm going to grab this one here and then just select it here. So I'm going to change the caption to what? Registration form. Okay, so I just call it data, or let me say registration form. Let me call it registration form. Registration form. So there we have that. So perfect. So select it, and then you would want to come to font group here, and then you would want to format this, change the font style of your choice, and then here let me give it the font size of probably 18, then I click on OK. So we have this looks good. Perfect. So that is that. So now we need to create our label. So you can just Control C to copy this by selecting, and then Control C to copy, then Control V to paste. And what we are going to do is to reduce or decrease the font size. So I'm going to maintain the font style. So I'm going to decrease the font size to probably, let's say 12. That is okay. Or even let it go down more, probably. Okay, the 12 is okay. Sorry, the 12 is okay. So what we are going to do is to change this to what? Sorry, name, and this one here. So you'd want to select it and then adjust it a bit to make it more smaller. There we go. So now you can select this one. Now after it's been selected, then let's come to this border style. Then we choose single line, something like this. So now select this, Control C to copy and Control V to paste, and drag that, and then we keep it here. And this is going to be for address, and then we can select this, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and this is going to be for mobile number. So we just type mobile, the same column headings we use. Okay, so Control C then Control V, and you can bring that as well here. And this is going to be for marriage or marital status. Marital status. So perfect. So now the next thing we are going to do is let's grab our various text boxes now. So we grab this one, let's select it, draw it, probably get it up to this level. This is okay. So now we would want to probably format it once and for all so that we don't suffer formatting them one after the other. So let's come here, and then we give it let's bold the font Times New Roman. You would want to give it 12, then click on OK. So now make sure it is selected, then you come to border style here, then you choose one here. Perfect. So we have this. So now Control C to copy this, and then Control V to paste it. So this is going to be for address. Okay, the address is going to be here. So select it, Control C, then Control V. Then this is going to be for mobile. Okay, perfect. So with the mobile we can reduce it a bit, and this is okay. And now what we are going to do is, this is text box 1, 2, 3. Okay, now select this, Control C, then Control V. Text box 4, let's bring it here. We'll be using it for something else which you'll be seeing for. Then Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and bring this one as well here. Then Control C, then Control V, and bring this one as well here, or you just move it a bit. Now we need another combo box here, so select this and we draw it up to probably this level. Then we would want to format it again just as we did for this one. So we come for the font group here, and we give it Times New Roman, then we bold it, then we give it font size of 12. So here border style, let's give it single line. So there we go. So now let's name them accordingly. So this is text box 1, as you can see, text box 2, text box 3, text box 4. Now let's give this one text box 5. So this is going to be text box 6. So let's change this one to text box 6 first. So 6. Sorry. So this is text box 5. And then okay, text box 6 is here. So let's change the text box 6 to 7 first. So let's change this to 7, text box 7. So we can now change this to text box 6, and then finally we can now change this to text box 5. So let's name it text box 5. Perfect. So now we are done with this. So now we can just debug it and see. So perfect, this is how it's going to look like. So now the next thing we need to get is the various buttons for the radio buttons for the gender. Okay, so now we grab this one here, and then we can just draw it this way and move it up a bit. Just bring it this way, select it, and then let's give it a back style. Okay, let's see this. Okay, let's maintain the way it is. Okay, so now let's change this one to male, and probably let's format it. So let's select it and let's format it appropriately. So let's come to the font group here. We would want to bold it and then change this to 12 and then Times New Roman. There we go. So we select this, minimize it a bit, Control C, then Control V, move it here, we extend it a bit, then this is going to be female. Perfect. So we have male here and female here. So now we need our checkbox, okay, for terms and then conditions. So there we go. So select this, so we drag it up to this level here, move it to the top a bit. So we can decrease this one a bit. Let's bring it this way. Let's bring this one as well this way. So I should come here. So this is okay. This should be here. This should also move a bit. There we go. So we can extend it to this level. So let's select it and let's change the caption and say I agree to all terms. Perfect. Probably and conditions. Sorry, and conditions. So we select this and then we'd want to format it. So we go to fonts group. So bold it and then we give it probably 10. Perfect. So let's extend it a bit and condition. So there we go. So I think this looks good. So now what we are going to do is to name the radio buttons now. Okay, so let's select this one. Let's name it OPT button 1. So OPT BTN1, OPT BTN1. So we select this one as well. So OPT BTN2, meaning option button 2. So with this one, I think we maintain the name checkbox 1. So now we need the photo, the image holder. So we grab this one here, then we'd want to place it somewhere here, like this. And this looks good. Perfect. And then now we need our various buttons, control buttons. So let's drag this one and place it here. Okay, now let me just undo what I've just done, since you don't have that customized. So quickly let's let me look for the control button itself here. There is it. So we grab this and draw a control button from here. Sorry about that. So now let's adjust it well and then let's name it and then format it appropriately. So let's change it to save and updates, save/updates. There we go. So let's select this and then first thing first, let's change the fonts. Let's increase the font size. So let's give it probably 12 and bold it in Times New Roman. There we go. So this looks good. So let's change the back color of it. So we select this one here. We come here, then we want to give it a bit dark green. And then the fore color here should be white. So we grab this, the fore color here should be white. So perfect. So select this, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control V to paste again. So we have one here. Then we have another one here. There we go. So Control C, Control V again. We should have one here. Then let's extend it a bit. So this one, let's select it and change the caption to upload photo. Perfect. And then so let's name it CMD upload photo, or let's just name it, yeah, CMD upload, sorry, photo, don't give space. And then this one, add save. So let's change this one to delete. Okay, and then this one here should be for probably for search. Okay, let's get the search here instead. Perfect. Let's get a search here instead. So this should be for search, and then this should be for delete. Perfect. So now we are done with that. So now the next thing is, let's just, okay, let me see. So CMD, so let's select this one, let's name it CMD save updates, and then have this one CMD search, and then here CMD deletes. Perfect. So now what we are going to do is basically we are done with the customization of the form and everything. So let's debug it and see. So now this is how the form is going to look like for the data entry. So now the next thing we are going to do is to start writing our various codes. Okay, so what is going to happen is this: I've already grabbed some codes for you that we are going to be using. Just copy and paste, and then I'll explain to you how the codes are going to work. But before we even do that, let's start with something here, because not all of them that. So let's double click on this one, the checkbox. So what we are going to do is this: we are going to say that if me dot probably as checkbox one is equal to true, meaning if the checkbox one is selected, then we would want to do something. What do we want to do? I would want to say me dot textbox 6, the textbox 6 is the checkbox. Okay, so we assume that that is where the value is going to be holding, is equal to, then in between here, then just type no. That is that. So now what is, sorry, it's going to be yes for now. Yes, sorry, yes, else, meaning else, anything aside that, then me dot textbox 6 is equal to this, and then sorry, and then no. So what we are actually saying here is that then we would want to insert here, if it is selected, then we want to assign the value of it, that is yes, and then we assign it to textbox what 6. If it is not selected or we uncheck it, then we set it to what no. So let's run our form and text something. So if we click on this, you can see that inside the textbox 6 it says what yes. If we uncheck, it says no. That is what we are doing. Now the next thing we are going to look at is the radio buttons. Okay, so with that one I have the codes. So let me just copy the codes for you. So we have this folder here. I'll be sharing this folder in the link in the video description. You just download it and then you get the codes there to work with. So I'll give you the project files and then the codes will be here. So now let's open this gender file here. Control. So now yes, Control A to select everything, then Control C to copy this. So now once you copy this, let's come back here. So what we are going to do is just double click inside here. Let's clear what we have here now. Now you paste this here. So what we are doing is we are just creating a subroutine which we will be calling anytime these buttons, any of these radio buttons is checked. Okay, so now how is this going to work? Let me show you. What we are saying is that the name of the sub is gender, which we'll be calling, like I said. So we are dimensioning a variable called OPT number, meaning the option number. It's just a name of a variable. And here, and then we are setting it to what? An integer. And then here we are deeming what? An array. Okay, this is an array. And then we are setting it to what? As a string. So here what we are doing is we would want to split the array and give it 2 values, that is male and female. So we are going to loop through this and determine which one is selected. So whichever that is selected, then we would want to assign the value to it what textbox 4. So how do we make this happen? So what we are going to do is this. let's double click here, and let's double click and select this one. So what we are going to do is to call this one inside here. So select this, and then here, then you paste it. Now let's go back here as well. So double click on this one here, and we still copy this one again, the same gender. We are calling the same gender subroutine inside here. So now let's run this and see what's going to happen. If we choose this one, you can see that it says what, male here. This is text box 4. If we choose this one, it says what, female. So basically that is that about that one as well. It's very simple. So now the next thing we are going to look at is the user form initialize. Okay, let's double click this. You can see that if I run this from here, sorry, let me show you something. If I run the form and then I click on this, we need some list here. We could have used any part of this sheet to create another sheet, a certain sheet, and get that. But let me show you another technique that you can use the VBA codes to do when it comes to that. So to do that, what we are going to say is this. Let's double click here, and here let's choose user form initialized, meaning if the user form is initialized. So let's clear this one, then you choose the initialize subroutine here. So what we would want to say is that, let me show you something here. That is a text box 5. Let's go to text box 5. This is a text box 5. Okay, so this is what we are going to be working with. So let's go back. What we are going to say here is we just say with me dot text box 5. Okay, let's call this text box 5. Then what we are going to say is end with. Okay, so we end the with here. So what we would want to do is to add the items. So we are going to use dot add items method. So we say dot add item. Then we would want to say the items we would want to add, either married or single, because that is it's about marital status. So we say this, sorry, yeah, marriage. That is the first one. Then second one dot add item. Then that is what, single. Okay, sorry, single. Perfect. So there we go. So now once we run the form, what we are saying is that the moment the user form is initialized, we would want to have this drop down list giving us the option of what, married and single. So let's run that. So here when we click on this, you see that we have married and single. Simple as that. So when we click on the first one, it goes. When we click on the second one, sorry, the second one, it goes in. So this is also another way we could have, like that, we could have created another sheet and then have the drop down list. So you've gotten another trick from here. Now the next thing we are going to look at is the save and add. With that, I have the codes for you. So let me close this one. Let's go to our codes folder once again. So here we have the codes here. So let's double click on this one, save add. Okay, so let's open this. So now don't include the end sub here. So let's select this one just in between. So leave the sub procedure. So let's Control C to copy this, and then let's minimize this one. Let's come back inside here. So double click on this save add here, and in between this you can just paste it here. So what we are going to do is let's comment here. Let's just type some comments and say add, save. Okay, so that we know that the codes here are for add and save. So first of all, let me just run you through the codes. Here we are setting application or screen updating to false, and then if me.textbox3, the text box 3 is what holds the mobile number. Don't forget, this is it. And what we are saying is that if that particular text box, if it is empty, let me see, if it is empty, then we'd want to give the user a message and say, hey, enter mobile number, because we're going to use the mobile number for the searching. Okay, so that is what is going to happen. So the next thing we are going to do is, now we are dimensioning a variable here, dim db as what, workbook, and then dim sh as what, worksheet. So here we are setting db to be what, we would want to open our database. Okay, we would want to open our database. So where is our database located? We need to get the file path. So how do we get that? It's very simple. So let's minimize this one and minimize. So let's go to our online DB folder. So here, so this is our database. So select it, then press and hold the shift key on the keyboard, then right click on this. Then you choose copy as path. So you just copy the path of our database file. Okay, we don't need it open. We're going to open it using the macro. So we go back inside here. So what we are going to do is to select, let me show you something. So I'm going to do set another one here, set db, then it's equal to, then I'm going to paste this one here, so that I will show you the difference here. So you can see that is the same directory here. Okay, sorry, it's equal to what? Worksheet. Let me just, sorry, workbook, workbooks. Okay, workbooks dot open. Okay, workbooks dot open. Then inside the parentheses, then we have that. So we're going to close our parentheses from here. So now let's look at this. You can see that the previous one that I created, the folder is the directory is what? D. Inside the folder called my drive, and then the name of the folder is what? Online data entry, and then the database file is what? Registration or reg database.slx. So now we are taking that one off. That was for the previous one that I created for the demonstration. So now we have our own database file which is going to open here. So that will open this file for us. That line of code is going to open, sorry, it's going to open this file for us here, this particular file. It will open it. So once the file is open, we are going to locate the sheet 1, the first sheet of it. So with that, so with the sheet, what we are going to do is we would want to dimension the MOB as range, that is the mobile number as range. Then the column number as also long, and then the new row as long. So we are setting the mobile number to be the third column, that is C through to C. And then we use the find method to locate the mobile number within that range. If the mobile number is not found, if it is nothing, then we would want to determine the last row, that is the last empty row with this. Else, then we would want to assign the value to what? The value inside the text box, what? 3 to, that is what? Text box 3 to what? The column, that is the first column. Sorry, the third column, that is the mobile number column. Then here what we are going to do is just to use this for loop to grab all the values inside of the text box from text box 1 to the text box 7. Now we have 7 text boxes, and get all the values, copy them, and then send them inside of the worksheet in that order, from the first column to the last column, from the first column to the 7th column. So that is what the for loop is doing for us here. So once we are done, the DB is what? That is the database sheet. So we want to close it. So we set that to true. And then we set the SH, that is the worksheet, to nothing. Then we set the DB to nothing. Then we end the sub procedure. So with that, we'll be able to save our data. So now let's run the code, sorry, the file, and see what I'm talking about here. Let's see this. So let's try to enter some name here. Like, let's see, Mr. James. And then the address, maybe JJ's Street. And then here the mobile number is maybe 123XX. Then it's male. Then the marital status is married. Then agree to all terms and conditions. So what we are going to do is to click on add save. So you see that the data is saved. It has just opened the workbook and then save it inside. So now let me just close this one and show you something. Let me minimize this one and open the database file. So my online DB. Let me just show you the data I've just captured. So you can see that is the data here, Mr. James, JJ Street, the phone number, male, married, and yes. So we see that this one, we haven't yet captured the image, so it's not there. So basically, that is that. It will just open it, send the data there, and then close it back. And that is what is happening. So now moving forward, so the next one we are going to look at is the search. So we double click on this, sorry, we double click. Yeah. Yes, let's get a search. But before we go for the search, I think let's go for the image upload. So now let's double click on this one here, image upload, and then let's close this one here, and let's go back to our folder with the codes, and then let's get this one, upload photo. So let's copy the codes here. So let's just copy what is inside, leaving the sub, the name of the sub procedures here. So let's minimize this one, minimize it. So in between here, so we paste this here. So now let's comment here and name it image upload. Okay, so let's just name it image upload. Perfect. So we comment this out. So basically what we are doing here is this. So we are deeming the file path as string, and then the file path should be equal to application.get open file name, and then we would want to filter whenever we trigger that button. It's going to open an explorer for us where we can grab the file of our choice, and we don't want to use any image at all. We want to use the images with the extension .jpg. If file path equal to false, then we would want to exit sub, meaning if nothing is selected, then we would want to exit the sub. Else, then we would want to copy the file, the path of the file, from this particular location. Now, where is this one located? We are going to grab this one straight from our Google Drive. You can see the path here. The D is inside the drive D, my drive, and then the online data entry, and then the images, because we are grabbing the image from that folder. So what we are going to do is, let's quickly minimize this one. Let me just give a space here. Yeah, okay, let's minimize this one. Let's go to our Google Drive folder. Let's go to that folder. So this is the particular folder we need to be targeting. So select it and press shift on the keyboard, right click, and then you just click on copy as path. Okay, so now once we do that, let's minimize this one here. We are coming to replace it here. So we select this one here up to this level. You see that, and then you paste it. So once we paste it, what we are going to do right now is this. A minute, let me just see this. Okay, so immediately after pasting, what we are going to do right now is just to close this one here as well. Just close it with the backslash, and then I think we've just captured it now. So now we need this same name here, the name of the images folder. The previous one that I use is called registration database _ images. So this one is called my DB images. That's the name of the folder. So we want to use that here. So we just select this one here. Then we replace this one here. Perfect. So that is that. Now let's save our work. So we are done with this. Now the file path of the image is going to be inside this particular text box here. That is the text box 7. So now let's double click to open the text box 7. So you can see this is the sub procedure here. So let's close this one here. Let's go back to our codes folder, and then we grab the text box 7 codes here. So let's select it here, leaving the name of the subs. Okay, let's minimize this. Then inside it, then we paste it. So here as well, let me just remove this. Is just a comment here as well. We are doing a picture file as what? String, meaning the image file. And then if me.textbox7 is not equal to empty, if it is not equal to empty, meaning we would want to assign the path of what? That image to that particular text box, this particular text box. That is what we are talking about. So in order for us to get a path of it, we need to use the same procedure that I use. So what we are going to do is we are going to just grab this side of it, this side of the story, or let me show you what we are going to do. Let's go to this right here, and then let's quickly go back. So we select this one, make sure the folder called my online DB or whatever name you've given it, make sure it's selected. Then you press shift, right click, and then you copy as path. Okay, so we minimize this one. So what we are going to do is just to select this one here to this level, and then we paste it. So once you are done pasting it, you want to select here, and then you introduce the backslash. So once that happens, it means we are done. So now after we've gotten the path, we would want to assign the image to what? This particular image frame here, this one. So with that one, so make sure this is selected first. Let's come to picture size mode. Just double click here to get it to be 1 FRM something. Just make sure it changes to this. Just double click, and then you have that stretched here. So now once that is done, we want to assign that image to what? The frame here. Okay, this one here. We want to assign the image, and then the the path of the image should be here. So that is that. So now once that happens, then else if no image is chosen, then we want to leave that particular frame as empty. This one will just leave it empty. So basically that is that. So now let's run it and try something here. Let's click on upload, and then let's go to the desktop. We realize that the images we're going to be targeting are all the JPGs. Okay, see, JPGs. So let's try selecting this one and then click on open. So you can see that the image is selected here. So simple as that. So now you can see that the path of the image is also inside the text box 7. It's as simple as that. So now let's capture our data with the image now. What we are going to do is let's give a name, Ambayao here. Then the address, let me just give it something, whatever. With the mobile number 222XX, and then she's a female, and then the marital status, she's single, so you can go for her. We accept the terms, then we grab this one. Then I would want to use a normal image, so let me just go for my folder here. We go for my database folder, then passport images. So I would want to grab this image for her. probably this one, then I'll open it. So we have the images. So once we click on save update, so we have, it has just saved the data, okay, straight there. So I'll show you that. Okay, so let me just close this one now, just minimize this one now. So minimize this one as well. Let's go back, let's open this one, let's open my online DB, and then let's open the images. This is the image first of all. So let's go back, and then let's open the database file. And you realize that the details will be there without any problem. So you can see Amaya, blah blah blah, everything is there, simple as that. So there we go with that one as well. So now the last thing we are left with is, so now let's close our database file, my DB. So let's close that. So you can see that we don't need the data here. We only created this file because we needed to create our form. Okay, so that is that. So now the last thing is the search. So let's grab the search. So let's go to our codes folder here, and then quickly double click on this one here. Just double click to open the search. So we just select everything from here and leave the subs, okay, the end sub and then the beginning of the subroutine. So select everything here and minimize this and double click on the search. So here we are. Where is it? So this is it. So in between you just paste this. So here we would want to pass a comment or give a comment and say search. So there we go. So once we are done with that, let's look at what we are actually doing here. This code is just similar to that of the add code, okay, the add and save, okay, but the only difference is that this one is only returning the data from the sheet back to the various text boxes and then the image frame. So the only changes we're going to be doing here is to just change our directory, okay, that is the database file, to open the database file. That is the only thing. So to do that, you've already seen how I did it. So we open this, my online DB. So you make sure this is selected, you press shift on the keyboard, make sure your hand is on it, then right click, and then you copy as path, then you just minimize this one. So what we are going to do is to just select all this inside here, remove it, then Control V to paste this one. So there we go. So now with this we'll be able to return the data as we've just entered it. So now let's run it and see. So we need to use the mobile number. That is what we are going to be using for the searching. Okay, so if I could remember, 222 and then XX also, let me search. Perfect. So that was what we use as the mobile number. So whatever, we believe that each and every member's mobile number is unique, so we can use the mobile number to search. So that is why we use the mobile number as the criteria. So with this you'll be able to, so whatever changes you do, it should be able to what? Reflect. So we can then update it. So she's no more single, she's now married. We've just updated that. So we need to go back and check. We need to go back and check our database to make sure that that is actually also working. So now let me just check that. We go to our online database here, and then quickly let's look at this. This is it. So let's double click and open this. So you can see that it has just changed to what? Married. So it's as simple as that. So we can then close our database. You see that the database file just opens and then close without you even seeing anything, meaning the data is actually submitted. Now the last thing we are going to look at is the delete button. Okay, so now let's quickly check that. So let's run this and see. So you can see the delete button now, there is nothing going on there. But what you need to know is that before we delete, we would have to search. So now let's double click on the delete button here, so you can see that. Now let's close this one here, and then let's bring this one back, and then let's grab our VB codes. Let's open the delete button. So let's copy the codes from here straight and then leave the sub procedure. So from there, just minimize this and minimize that, and then we come here inside the Control V to paste it. So immediately after pasting this, what we need to do is let's pass our comment here this way. Delete. Perfect. Basically what our code is just doing is, first of all, we would want to check the phone number text box, which is text box 3. If there is no search criteria, then we would want to prompt the user to what? Search for a record before attempting to delete. That is the information. But once the record is found, we go ahead and delete the record. It's as simple as that. But here we need to change the directory to grab our own file. Okay, that is the database file. So to do that, let's go to this one here, and then let's select our database file, then press and hold shift on the keyboard. Make sure your hand is on it, right click, and then click copy as path, and then you minimize this one now. So now what we are going to do is to select everything we have in the parentheses here, and Control V to paste this. So there we go. So this is now our database directory. So it will open the database and delete the record. That is if the record is found, to delete it, and then from there it will just close back again. So now what we are going to do is let's quickly minimize this, and let's go to let's open our database file now and see some two mobile phone numbers so that we use them. So we have the 123XX and then 222XX. Okay, we're going to delete them, search for them and delete them. So let's check. So we have, let's try this. You see that it says, well, please search for record before attempting to delete. So now let's enter 123XXX or so. So let me search, record not found, probably XX. Let me search. Perfect, the record is found. It seems this record doesn't have an image, that is why there is no image. So what we are going to do is to delete it. Okay, now let me try searching the other one, 222XX, and then we search. So you see this one is with the image. Perfect. So let's delete it. Let's delete. So record is now deleted. So now it's gone. So now if we should go back to our database now, we realize that that particular 222XXX is no more there. Okay, so let's check it. There we go. You can see that it's no more there. And also the 123XX, you can see that there is no file path, meaning that is why there is no image. We're going to go ahead and delete that one as well. Let's close this. Let's check this one out. So that is 123XX. So let's search that. So the record is there, so we delete it, and then we have it deleted. There we go, record is deleted now. So now if we should minimize this and then open our database file from here, we realize that, sorry, let me see this. Let's open it and see. So we realize that that data is also gone as well. So basically that is that. Please, if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon so that I get notified anytime we upload new videos like this. Now there is one cool thing you need to know about this kind of system. Someone can hire you and ask you to create a simple data entry system for them, and you can do that. I've been doing that for people and making some money out of that. Okay, you can equally use this. Probably you would want your members or maybe your teachers in the school as a head teacher or whatsoever, or MS rep, you would want your teachers to submit some data. You can just create a simple data entry system like this, and then they'll submit all the data, and then you have the data appear in a single database so that you can use that data for whatever purpose you intend to do. You can change the column headings, you can add column headings and then modify it. If you would want me to create a very complex one than this one, you can comment that. You can just leave a comment in the comment section and ask me to maybe create an advanced one so that I'll see how I can put things together to create one. But this one like this is so very cool, for at least for a start. Okay, so you can start with this one and then you see what is going to happen. I'll leave the files, I'll leave the zip file in the video description. I'll upload it to my Google Drive and then leave the link for you in the video description. You can just check the link up and then download all the source files and everything, and then go ahead and use. And finally, don't forget to follow us on our official WhatsApp channel. We have the link in the video description as well. You can also smash the like button. Please smash the like button if you like the video. Don't forget to smash the like button. That is when YouTube can recommend these videos to others for them to also enjoy. So thank you so much. To our next series of video tutorials. Bye for now.